Good morning, everybody. In case you were wondering, why Elvis, right? Well, our theme for the day is Be Kind to the World. So, we thought Don't Be Cruel was an appropriate song. We'd like you to join us now this morning on singing along with Karen Drucker's tune called Stand. And as soon as we get those words up there, we will go. I'm going to vamp the intro here.
Elvis style.
I'm just going to keep playing till the words. Well, maybe we can start. Let there be peace.
Let there be peace.
I am a star.
I understand.
Let there be love.
Let there be love. I understand.
Let there be joy.
Let there be joy. I understand for joy. We are making a new
One more time. Peace.
Let there be peace. I understand for
love.
Let there be love. I understand for
joy.
Let there be joy. I understand for joy. We are making a new world now.
Peace again.
Let there be peace. I understand for love. Let there be love. I understand for
joy.
Let there be joy. I understand for
Here we
joy.
go.
We are making a new world
Again.
now.
Peace.
Let there be peace. I understand for peace. Let there be love. I understand for love. Let there be joy. I understand for joy. We are making a new world now. We are making a new world now.
What are we making?
We are making a new world now.
All right, good. Like to introduce our musicians to you this morning. We have our regular fabulous band, David Page on drums, Bill Dixon on bass, and Ed Cusby back with us on guitar. Our song leaders are Kieran Allen and Rick Dale. I'm Diane King Band. Yes, it's red hair today. And our soloist is Chris Shelton. So stand on up, stretch those legs out, and do another song with us. I love myself the way I am. Here you go.
Love myself the way I am. There's nothing I need to change. I love the way I feel, the good of me. There's nothing to rearrange. I'm beautiful and capable of being the best me I can. And I love myself just the way I am. I love you the way you are. There's nothing you need to do. I know inside myself, it's easy to love you. Behind your fears, your rage and tears, I see your shining star. And I love you just the way you are.
And now it's time to meet and greet your neighbor. Say howdy. And get ready to sing another chorus or two with us. This is going to be I Love the World the Way It Is. Here we are.
I love the world the way it is, 'cause I can clearly see that all the things are just put on by people just like me. So till the birth of peace on earth that only love can bring, I'll help it grow by loving everything.
And one more, I love myself. Here we go. Thank you.
Love
Yes.
the way I am, till I want to grow. The change outside can only come when deep inside I know I'm beautiful and capable of being the best me I can. And I love myself just the way I am. I love myself just the way I am.
Good morning. Welcome to the Center for Spiritual Living. Whoever you are and wherever you are on your spiritual journey, you are welcome here this morning. We believe that there are as many paths to God as there are people on this planet, and we honor all faith traditions, all religions, and therefore we begin with our candle lighting ceremony. We perform this ceremony to promote the universal consciousness of life, which acknowledges that all peoples, all faiths, all sentient beings come from the one great universal presence, which we call spirit. Fundamental to this truth is the unifying nature of all religious thought and experience, which we honor here today. We light the candle for the Tao, honoring the universal path of harmony and equilibrium, the natural way. We light the candle for the shamanic traditions, honoring the beliefs and practices of all indigenous peoples, the way of primal spirituality. We light the candle for Hinduism, honoring the path of knowledge, action, and devotion. We light the candle for Judaism, honoring the ethical path of living by sacred law. We light the candle for all forms of Buddhism, honoring the Four Noble Truths and the path of compassion. We light the candle for all forms of Christianity, honoring Christ consciousness as the path of love. We light the candle for Islam, honoring compliance, the path of compliance with the will of God as the highest calling. We light the candle for the universalistic religion of Baha'i, honoring the path of unity and peace. We light the candle for all forms of New Thought, honoring the metaphysical path of mental healing through the practice of universal spiritual principles. And as practitioner Tony Sparks lights the last candle, let it represent the path that brought you here this morning. And please join me in prayer. And let's know this truth together, that there is only that one God, that one life, that one presence. It is everywhere present, from deep within to far beyond anything we could even imagine. It is life itself, and it is moving and breathing everything into existence. I know that each one of us is its expression. We are one with it. We are one with each other, one with all of life. And what I know and declare for this time together is that each one here opens themselves up to an awareness of themselves. That by means of this time together, each one is uplifted, is reminded, is absolutely filled with spirit. This community, this communion with God is felt, is known, is experienced through our music, through our fellowship, through our love, and through the message. Every message, the message of Dr. Heather, the message of just a simple smile or a handshake. We all leave here absolutely filled and fulfilled. And I'm just so grateful for this time together. I'm grateful for this center, this spiritual family. It's all love, and it's all God. So I simply let go. It is already done. And please join me today. And so it is. And now I have the pleasure of inviting up to the platform the beautiful Jill Burnett, who's going to share our affirmation.
Good morning, everyone. I'm going to say the affirmation first, and then it will appear on the screen. We'll say it together. Kindness is the fruit of the Spirit. As I look for, embody, and spread kindness, I am expressing the divinity within me and changing the world around me. And so it is. We have it on the screen. Kindness is the fruit of the Spirit. As I look for, embody, and spread kindness, I am expressing the divinity within me, changing the world around me. And so it is. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Jill. Please welcome Chris Shelton.
Good morning, everybody. So happy to be here. If you're Facebook friends with me, you know I've been on a road trip for 2 weeks. If you're not Facebook friends with me, why aren't you? But so we just got home last night, and I can't think of a better way for me to re-enter life than to be here and singing for you this morning. So thank you for having me. We're going to do a song from the 70s, a Gladys Knight song that I actually recorded on my CD. And it's called Friendship Train. I thought it worked really well with our theme this morning, and unfortunately, it still rings true. So we need to follow the friendship train. Here we go.
Calling out to everyone across the nation. I said the world today is in a desperate situation. Stealing, burning, fighting, that's nothing but corruption. It looks like mankind is on the eve of destruction. Oh, yes, it does now. People, let me tell you now, we've got to live with each other. No matter what race, creed, or color. I just got to tell you what the world needs now is love and understanding. Get on board the friendship train. Everybody shake a hand, make a friend. I'm talking about the friendship train. Everybody shake a hand, make a friend now. And listen to us now. We're doing our thing on the friendship train. Let's start today to make tomorrow a brighter day for our children. Oh yeah, come on, we can do it. I can do it only if our hearts are willing. So get on board the friendship train. Everybody shake a hand, make a friend. I'm talking about the friendship train. Everybody shake a hand, shake a hand now. It don't matter what you look like or who you are. If your heart is in the right place, talking about the right place, you're welcome aboard now. This train stands for justice. This train stands for freedom. This train stands for harmony and peace. And this train stands for love, love, love. Come on, get on the friendship train. Everybody shaking a hand with a friend. Yes, I'm talking about the friendship train. Everybody shake a hand, make a friend now. People, listen to me. Harmony is the key. My sisters and brothers, you must sing that with me. I said harmony is the key. My sisters and brothers. I said harmony is the key. My sisters and brothers. One more time, I said harmony is the key. My sisters and brothers. People, we can't wait, cause another day might be too late. Come on, get on the friendship train. Everybody shake a hand with a friend. Yes, I'm talking about the friendship train. Everybody shake a hand, make a friend now. I'm talking about the friendship train. Everybody shake a hand, shake a hand. Yes, I'm talking about the friendship train. Everybody shake a hand, make a friend now. And listen to me, harmony is the key. My sisters and brothers. Yes, harmony is the key. My sisters and brothers. Oh yes, now harmony is the key. My sisters and brothers. I said harmony is the key. My sisters and brothers on the friendship train.
Chris Sheldon.
Thank you.
Yay.
That's great
I like
band.
that
I love
train.
singing with you guys. Thank you.
Thank you, Chris. Please welcome Reverend Dr. Heather Clark.
Thank you so much, Chris. That was perfect. So my talk title is Being Kind in a Cruel World. And Michael Beckwith has said at some point, It's as if the world has taken a nightmare pill and we're experiencing this collective nightmare. And certainly there seems to be an unrelenting flow of negativity coming at us from the news stations for certain. And because news is now 24/7, and it just remind people that, you know, years ago, we watched news maybe at 11, maybe at 6, but we didn't have 24 hours, 7 days a week of that constant flow of information, and particularly negative information. So as religious scientists, as people practicing the science of mind, it's incumbent on us to see past any facts to the truth, to see the good, the harmony, the truth, the joy, the love everywhere. And because how do we call anything forth is we be it. We have an intention for it to be who we are and where we are and what we are. And that's the only way. So yesterday, I was going to be one of the officiants at a beautiful wedding. It was mostly done by the rabbi. And when I say mostly done by the rabbi, I was given 5 minutes at the first of the service, and please don't go over, which I did not. But it was a beautiful, beautiful ceremony. And I was getting there in lots of time. I was about 30 minutes early, and I was turning onto Highway 74 at San Juan from the 5, and I rear-ended a guy. So I got out, and neither car had any damage. We determined that. Neither one of us was hurt. So we exchanged information, but I was really flustered. I'm supposed to be centered. I'm supposed to be part of the consciousness of being present, going to a wedding, which is the most important ceremony, a Jewish wedding, by the way. The bride and groom are considered the king and queen for the day. I love that. I think we should all be the king and queen for the day in our weddings, baptisms, any of our special services. But anyway, it was a beautiful, beautiful experience. So what did I do? I did what I hope all of you would do, because I could feel that I was not centered. So I called my assistant ministers, neither one of whom was available. But then I knew, and this was so good, I called Pam Rock. And why? She's the head of our practitioners, or one of the heads, the perfect person to call. But also, which I had not thought of at that time, last year, she had been in a rear end collision. I didn't consciously call Pam, but what she said to me was so amazing. She said, wow, neither one of you were hurt. Neither car has any damage. This in itself is a miracle. And so and that was before the prayer. This in itself is a miracle. Now, and then she did this wonderful prayer. So I was able to go into the gathering, the group that were gathering, and be part of their celebration and not need to mention my stuff to anyone because it was irrelevant. It had no bearing on anything that was going on. And I thought about it and thought, well, what do I believe? What do we teach? I believe that we live in a friendly universe. A friendly universe that's always supporting one of us, according to our consciousness. According to our consciousness. So what that means is when we don't see kindness, when we see cruelty, the place to do the work is within ourselves. To change our minds about what it is that we're looking at and what we're looking from. What is our perspective? Who are we in that moment? Ernest Holmes, in a book called It's Up to You, says this: we must not be disturbed by the contradiction of objective experience. We shall have to know that the truth we announce is superior to the condition which it is to change. Let me say that again. We must know that the truth is superior to the condition it is to change. We shall have to see that God in us recognizes God in the other person until the God in the other person recognizes God in us. Isn't that great? This cannot be done by human will. It is only when we recognize the pure essence of the spiritual principle inherent and incarnate in each of us that we find the thought arising from the atmosphere of spiritual realization has no adversary. There are no adversaries. There are no enemies. There's no one against anyone. Kennedy Schultz had a little tiny book called God Isn't Mad at Anyone. I love that, but God isn't mad at anyone. So one of the things is we, as religious scientists, students of science of the mind, need to look more closely. So is it true that there's an unrelenting flood of negativity? Yeah. Is there more negativity today than there was 20 years ago? Is that the truth? And it happens that it isn't the truth. You know, if you watch the news, you're seeing the same image over and over and over and over again, but it's one thing. I mean, whether it's the horrific hurricane in Texas or whether it's any one of the political news, whatever it is, we see the same thing over and over and over again, but it's the same thing. It's one thing. And what if we were to look to see how many good things are happening? And I'm so delighted to say there are many, many, many good things happening. In fact, there was a study done by a person by the name of Pinker who says that there's far more positivity than negativity. We just get lambasted with the negativity, so it feels like that's all there is. But there's far more positivity. And in his same study, and there's a professor at Berkeley who has, his job is teaching this, how to be kind and the value of kindness, the value of compassion. And what they found, what the research has found is that when you do a compassionate act, Kathy's going to love this. When you do a compassionate act like being in service, like offering hospitality, offering a smile, and as Reverend Karen said in her opening prayer, no matter what it is, when you do a compassionate act, your body, your brain lights up. The oxytocin in your body goes, that felt good. Let's do some more of that. There's a biological change within you when you do something with compassion. But here's the even more interesting thing to me. When we witness someone being compassionate, it similarly lights up within us. When we see someone being compassionate, when we see someone doing a good deed, helping someone else, something in our brains light up. So that should not surprise us because we know that we're one. We're one with all beings because we're one with the spirit that is in every single person. So because of that fact, I'm going to show you some videos this morning that move me. The first one I'm going to show, if they're in the order I think they are, because I've changed the order on our sound team this morning. Those of us who went to Daniel Nahmad's concert know about this guy. His name is Nemo. And here's his background. He's Indian, biologically from India, but raised here in the United States, got great marks in school, went to an Ivy League university, got a great job on Wall Street. Everything that he set his intention on, he accomplished in spades. So he was mega successful. Then he decided, being a musician, he really wanted to write music, and he became a internationally renowned hip hop artist. He goes now by the name Nemo, but his name as a hip hop artist, I think, was Namish Patel. And I don't know if he made it big here, but he was mega big in India, in those countries, and like million, so I don't know, platinum albums, whatever they're called now, but he sold a lot of hip hop music. Very successful, sailing through life. He realized it was easy for him to have a vision and to move toward it. Now, that's sort of part of what we teach here. Have a vision, have an intention, move toward it. But what he realized was that he was empty inside. Everything that he was accomplished was all outer. It was nothing to do with his inner life. So he left it all. And he went to Gandhi's ashram. And for 3 years, he sat in meditation and he listened to one album by some unknown named Daniel Nemod. And it was the album Water, which many of us are familiar with. And particularly, he would listen to Planting Seeds, which the lyrics to Planting Seeds, I'm planting seeds, nothing more. I don't know whether they'll grow or not, but the main thing is to keep planting seeds. So Nemo has a huge video now. So he's gone back to it, but he kept listening to this, and listening to this. What can I do? What am I being called to do? And he looked around at the poverty in his homeland and the hopelessness for these young people who had no chance of an education, no chance of moving from where they were in deep, deep poverty. And he found 16 of them, and he mentored them. He took them all over the United States and the United Kingdom, and they formed a dance group. And so then they became very famous. And when they got back home, wherever that was, he thought, well, now what? And he was tempted to again go for some big thing, because he'd already proven he could be successful at those big things. And he asked himself, is that what I really want? And it wasn't. So he went back to the ashram and he went within. And he said what he came up with was, I want to live my life using these 3 ideas: simplify, serve, and love. Simplify, serve, and love. In other words, use kindness in everything that I do. And so we're going to watch a little bit of this video, which is his video on kindness. And he has some of the young people that he works with. I don't know if they're the ones he mentored. I don't think so, because that was an earlier group. But let's take a look at it now. The kindness video, please.
Well, my heart starts sinking and I'm thinking, what's the reason why we holding back from being kind? What's the disease within a sense? We are fine, it'll all happen one small step at a time. When the world is full of violence and it needs a little kindness, I just sit and pray in silence, and God shows me the signs. Open my eyes, realize we are fine. one small act at a last night I'm walking home and the homeless man says hello with a smile to let me know that he's got a lot of hope. He says, have faith, young man, we are fine. The world is kind. One small act at a time. Small acts we do together, even though maybe alone, changes the world for the better, so we can call it home. And this is life as we know, when our hearts are aligned, the magic that unfolds, one small act at a time. Throw your hearts up, let it all go. Spread kindness to every single living soul. Can you see a love from me shining through? 'Cause what you see in me, I can see in you. And soon enough, you and me will be out of time. Kindness will be all we can live behind. Yeah, feeling grateful today. Never thought this day would come where I would feel it and say that each and every one of us has paved the way, doing good, and now we're all just moving up. When I'm kind to you pay it forward. This is how we build trust. Never had faith, but now I'm seeing you. I wanna gift you my life, wanna spread love before I die. Thank you, God, for finally letting me realize when I serve man, I'm really serving you in disguise. Smiles everywhere, 'cause now everybody's got the plug. Ain't no life without the love. If it is, it ain't no fun. What we gonna do now? Just grab a friend and give a hug. Spread it out real wide so everyone can be touched. Turn your hearts up, let it fly high, and let your love all the world spread through the sky. Let it drop down, let it all go. Spread kindness to every single living soul. Can you see a love from me shining through? 'Cause what you see in me, I can see in you. And soon enough, you and me will be out of time. Kindness will be all we can leave behind. Kindness is all we can leave behind. Kindness is all we can leave behind. Throw your hearts up, let it pop up, yeah. Love will spread through the sky. Let it drop down, let it all go. Spreading kindness to every single living soul. Can you see a love from me shining through? 'Cause what you see in me, I can see in you. And soon enough, you and me will be out of time. Kindness will be all we can leave behind.
Thank you. Thank you. There's a little bit more, but okay. So look at the person beside you and say, what you see in me, I can see in you. What you see in me, I can see in you. Look at the person on the other side. What you see in me, I can see in you. And then just breathe into that. It is so important. It's so important to be able to be part of a community that sees with love and sees past any of the unrelentless flow of negativity to the positivity. The next video that I'm going to show you really touched me deeply, and it touched me for many reasons, because all of us have felt grief in some form, and it begins with a grieving man, but a miraculous way that he is healed. So this is the grocery store encounter.
All three of the harmful foods I'm going to show you right now are labeled and marketed as health foods. When I reveal them to you, you'll be shocked. I'm also
This morning's installment of our series, A More Perfect Union, examines an unexpected but powerful friendship. We're looking at unique connections to highlight how Americans have more in common than recent headlines might suggest. Steve Hartman shows us how an 82-year-old widower was touched by an innocent question in the canned food aisle of a grocery store when he needed it most.
Not long ago, in a cemetery outside Augusta, Georgia, a loving couple was buried. The wife buried below this white bouquet. The husband buried above in a mound of grief.
Took me totally by surprise.
82-year-old Dan Peterson says after Mary died, he fell into a deep depression. Spent days just staring out at the squirrels.
What were you living for?
I was trying to figure that out. Fine.
You had no purpose?
No.
Were you just waiting to die?
Yeah.
For 6 months, it was just that bad.
And then one day you go to a grocery store.
It all changed inside this Publix.
Dan was nearing the end of the canned vegetable aisle. He hates grocery shopping, and by all accounts, the expression on his face confirmed his aggravation. But that's when this unapproachable man was approached by a 4-year-old girl named Nora Wood. In the security footage, you can see Nora randomly reaching out to him. Her mom, Tara, says it was quite embarrassing.
She stood up and said, "Hi, old person, it's my birthday today."
Old person?
Old person.
Hi, old person.
She says this to this cranky old man,
Yeah.
and then had the audacity to demand a hug.
I said, a hug? I said, absolutely.
Nora got her hug and then asked her mom to take a picture of her with her new friend.
She zeroed in on him like a missile. And she didn't want anything from him. She just wanted to make him feel loved and give him a hug. And his little lip quivered and he was teared up, and it was just sweet.
And I said, you don't know. This is the first time for quite a while that I've been as happy.
That all happened a couple months ago, and his grin has only gotten wider since.
Hi, sweetheart, come in, come in.
Today, Nora visits at least once a week.
So how's my sweetie, huh?
And every time, it's the grocery store all over again.
I knew I was going to get a hug. Oh, it's unbelievable. Totally unbelievable.
It's a bridge.
There's a bridge. Oh, okay.
Dan does have grandkids of his own, but they're all grown and gone. And Nora does have grandparents, but her mom says this is a completely different kind of bond that almost defies explanation.
She fell asleep holding a picture of them. What?
To Dan, it's equally miraculous, but far less mysterious. He believes Nora is quite literally an angel.
Okay. She opened me to a love that I didn't know existed.
Dan, let me ask you. When your wife died, you felt like you didn't have any purpose anymore. Do you feel like you have a purpose now?
Of course. Nora. Watching her grow up. I know I made room in my heart to grow a lot more.
Steve Hartman joins us now.
Oh my God, Steve.
Wow.
Jeez.
What do you think? What do you attribute this bond to?
I don't know. Nora is not one of these kids that goes out and talks to everybody she meets. This was a one-time thing, just reaching out to some random stranger in a grocery store. So this really defies explanation.
But she saw something in him when she
Yeah.
goes up and says, old person, of all the people in the grocery store. She saw something.
It was senior day there. There were lots of old persons
Yeah, but she walked up to him.
Yes.
So how does Dan describe the bond?
How
does he explain it? How does
Dan
he explain
thinks that there's God at work here.
Yeah, I do too.
To be blunt.
I do too.
But he also he has a message here. He thinks there's lots of other lonely old persons out there.
Yeah.
And lots of preschoolers with hugs aplenty. And he'd like to see more of them come together.
You know, Steve,
I love everything
Yeah.
He does everything you do. But you said this was your favorite story.
This is
because
anytime you get different generations falling in love with each other, that gets me.
In a word, what has he added to her life?
I don't know, because she's a little bit hard to talk to. She's 4. I couldn't really do an interview with her, but all I recognize is just that I was there for about an hour and there were about at least 5 or 6 hugs. Yeah. So she's found something that goes beyond even a grandparent thing.
And I love her mother encouraging it too. I love that she gets to go see him once a week.
Yeah, beautiful stories.
Really, really nice. Thank you. Get another box of tissues with you, Mr. Hartman.
There are other old persons and other preschoolers. I just love that. And there's this place that can put the two together pretty nicely. I'm so grateful to be here. I'm grateful to be your senior minister. And you know that I'm going on sabbatical starting September 1st. So what I wanted this morning was for you to realize how much love you already have in your hearts, how much you're cherished, how much you're adored, how much you're loved, and how much you have to give. And how that givingness will continue in the 3 months that I'm away, because you're going to be supporting this place. You're going to be supporting the principle that you're learning here. You're going to be supporting the love that's already within you. And what I know and expect that by the time I get back on December 1st, there'll be more people here than there have been in the last few months, because love is going to bring you together and keep you together. It's not a cruel world. It's a beautiful world, and it's a beautiful life. And we're all very, very blessed to be part of it. And so it is. Just before Diane starts playing, I had a third video. We might play it during the coffee. It's very short. It's about how our animal companions show love to us. And it's amazing. Anyway, I'm going to pray, so Diane's going to set up a prayer for us.
Be still and know that you are God. Be still and know that you are God. Be still and know that you are God. Be still and know. Be still and know that you are God. Be still and know that you are God. Be still and know that you are God. Be still and know. Be still. That you are God.
In this holy moment of right now, I remind myself who I am and whose I am. That there is only one power in the entire universe. That power that I call God is everywhere present. And I am one with it. And so I speak this word in the first person for everyone here, everyone listening, everyone who is receptive to this idea of wholeness, of prosperity, of love, of creativity. I say this word for the vitality, energy, and aliveness of each one of us, of me, of my body. My body is whole, completely perfect, and I'm conscious wherever I am. I'm awake to the presence of God within me at all times. And so I know that I am safe. I know that I am well. I know that I am happy. I know that I am complete. And furthermore, I know that I am the love that God is. And that love moves through as well-being, as and connection, as caring, as compassion and kindness. It moves through me as the expression of the divine. And it's unmistakable. Furthermore, I know not only am I that love, but I am that whole, I am that consciousness of prosperity, that I'm rich beyond measure, for I am one with the source of supply. I use my consciousness in wise ways, and I allow and make welcome every idea from the universe. For I know that that idea, that new idea, is for me. I make it welcome. And by making it welcome, I then take it into my heart, into my life, thereby making the world an even better place. I know for this community that there is something that connects us here. And that something is not dependent on any one person, any one event. That something is the power of God's love. And it has from the very beginning continuously brought it together. It's what keeps us together, maintains us, and sustains us. I'm so very grateful for each and every one who has been a part of this community, who is currently a part of this community, and for all those who will be joining in the months to come. With my heart filled with gratitude, knowing that this word is the word of truth, the word of power, I simply give great thanks. Place this word in law, it's done. And please help me anchor it by saying with me, and so it is.
Thank you so much, Heather. And please welcome back Bruce Shelton.
It's really not fair to make the singer cry before she's got to sing. Such wonderful messages. All right, well, we're just going to do this by India Ari, and I'm sure actually you probably all know it. It's called I Am Light.
I am not the things my family do. I am not the voices in my head. I am not the pieces of the brokenness inside. I am not. I am not. I am what I am. I have mistakes that I have made. Forget of the things that cause me pain. I am not the pieces of a dream I left behind. I am Giant my peace, my soul inside is all. I am divinity. I am lovely inside. I am the peace of God. I am
Chris Shelton, absolutely beautiful. Thank
And
you
you are
so
light.
much.
And you are light.
Thank you, Chris.
If the stewards would come forward, it's time for us to share our gifts, our tithes, our offerings. So please repeat after me. I acknowledge the divine flow by giving. I acknowledge the divine flow by receiving. Giving and receiving are part of the same thing. I give with love, and I love to give. I receive with love, and I love to receive. And so it is.
This song is for you, Reverend Heather. It's called On My Way, and I thought it'd be a good, happy way to celebrate her new adventure ahead.
For another sunrise wakes me, for another night is gone. I'll find out where this highway takes me. You know I've got to travel on. Left my troubles all behind me. Back there when I climbed on board. Jordan River is where you'll find me. It's wide but not too wide to board. As I flow along, I carry with me promises that can't go wrong. As I travel on, as I travel on, my way. It's wide but not too wide to fall. And I'm walking up, I carry with me promises that can't go wrong as I travel on, as I travel on.
Happy travels and adventures ahead. And let's get those kidlets in here.
This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine.
Everywhere I go,
everywhere it shine everywhere I go. I'm gonna let it shine everywhere I go. I'm gonna let it shine, let it shine, let it shine, let it shine.
Daddy.
Good morning, everyone. Our teens are in the multipurpose room having a workshop. They may join us. We don't know. They might be doing something really super special. So we talk today about the connection that we all share. And we have a great way to show you how it works. Do you want to see it? I thought you did. Okay, Hanya.
I'm going to hold it.
But if one person... We are all connected all the time. We also made some little reminder cards for the kids to take home and put up wherever they like in their home. Inside it, we made our own special wisdom cards that can pull one every day and read it to themselves and remind themselves of how they want to be for that day. So we had a really great time. Birthday girl.
Good morning. My name is Kaylee. Please join me in the benediction. God is life. God is light. God is love. God is beauty. God is joy. God is peace. God is power. All these things yeah.
I'd like to acknowledge the people who have been in service today or this week. So if that's you, would you please stand so we can give you a lot of love. A special subset of the people standing are practitioners trained in the art and science of affirmative prayer. To transform your life, make an appointment to see one of these people. You'd be so happy you did. To get a taste of that on Sunday, you can stop by the affirmative prayer table or the Tranquility Room, and the people in service today are Kathy Story, Tony Sparks, Jill Burnett, and Rick. Yeah, I can never see you when you're doing this. I have to move back there. Yeah. And you were doing a good job. So let's acknowledge all of our practitioners. If you're here for the very first time, we have a gift for you, and we would like to acknowledge you. If you just put your hand up, we'll see where you are and who you are. And then if you're brave enough, you can stand up. If you're brave enough, you can stand up so we can affirm you. That's really great. Yay. So please repeat after me. Welcome to our center. We're so glad you came here today. We know that you're a spiritual being and that you make a difference. Thank you for blessing us today. And so it is. Let's acknowledge our visitor. There's information in that green bag, and if you fill out the card and take it to the bookstore, you'll receive another gift. It's a book. Okay.
And now it's time for announcements.
Yes.
Join Dave Friedman. Who? Dave Friedman.
Where are you, Dave? There he is.
There he is. At noon today, right here in the sanctuary, for Conscious Connections to discuss today's topic. It meets from 12 to 12:30.
Okay, are you listening? All right. This week at Wednesday's Wisdom, it's going to be absolutely spectacular and different. Something we've never had before. So I chose the talk title, Everyone Has a Gift to Share.
Well, I know in this congregation, everybody has a gift to share. But Wednesday night, you get to experience these gifts. Your congregation, members of your congregation, are going to come up here and they're going to share their gifts, and not the gifts that you normally see. So Rick's not going to sing and play guitar. David's not going to play the piano. Heather's not going to speak, but they will be here sharing another gift. So come on out 7 o'clock Wednesday night, because you will never see this again. So yes.
Mysterious. If you're new to our center, Reverend Judy is facilitating a 3-week discovery class designed just for you. It will be held on Monday nights from 6:30 to 8:30, starting on September 11th. There's a sign-up sheet available in the kiosk and also one in the bookstore.
And if you're interested in going to Bali with Dr. Heather, which I am also, you can visit the Bali table at the back of the room. It promises to be something absolutely spectacular and amazing. So visit the table.
And as always, there is a lot to do here at the center. Please take your inserts home with you and look them over. And if you would like to take Chris home with you, CDs are available in back of the room at that blue table over there.
And now it's time to stand and sing our closing song. 1, 2, 3.
It's up to me to give up my love. Love is my decision. No one else can tell me to stop. And once I decide to change my mind, God will show me how. Love is my decision, right here and now. Love is my decision. It's up to me to stand on that bridge. Love is my decision. No one else can make me for you. And once I decide to change my mind, God will show me how. Love is my decision, right here and now. Love is my decision. To get down that road. Love is my decision. No one else like my love. And once I decide to change my mind, God will show me how. Love is my decision, right here and now. My decision, right here and
In this holy moment of right now, I remember that I live in a loving universe, in a loving world. I am kind to myself and I see it in others. I am kind to everyone I meet, and so it is.
Thank you.